Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, diving into RPGs that the world is highly anticipating. And by the world, I mean this channel, and everyone who watches this channel, which makes about 0.1% of this world. But anyway, we're talking about The Outer Worlds 2, we're talking about Avowed, and how both these games seem to be closer than a lot of the internet's giving it credit for. Of course, The Outer Worlds 2 had one of the most hilarious trailers of all time at E3 2021, where it was very self-aware, very much a trailer that was made to say, hey, shareholders, we're doing this. Hey, Xbox fans, it's exclusive in the future. See it when we see it, and then they sort of moved on. It was absolutely incredible, the level of transparency there, and it's one of the many reasons why I love Obsidian. So when you saw that trailer, you couldn't help but think to yourself, this is probably many years away, like Elder Scrolls 6 timing many years away, I would imagine. But it very well may be closer than you're thinking. And the same thing with Avowed, with a reveal, an official reveal, sooner than you may be imagining. So today we're taking the deep dive into everything Obsidian, from LinkedIn profiles to quotes from interviews to even old and recent Xbox Wire posts. A lot to go through in this video, but I think you're going to walk out of it feeling pretty good, like, dang, we're going to be seeing some Obsidian stuff real soon. So if you're new here, you're into RPGs, or you're into Obsidian and Xbox, any of that stuff, subscribe. We'd love to have you here. But now, as I itch my eye because there's something in it, let's get into everything Outer Worlds 2 first and foremost. First off, very light details on the game. The other big news from Obsidian today is the announcement of The Outer Worlds 2, taking place in a new star system with a new crew. We are excited to bring everyone back to the Outer Worlds franchise. Alright, so this means no more Parvati. But of course, good thing about the Outer Worlds sequel is a lot of people were frustrated by its lack of scope and scale. I love that about the Outer Worlds, was that it was much tighter and it wasn't trying to be this open world behemoth. So I'm hoping that while they get a budget for the Outer Worlds 2, part of me in saying that I hope it's not a huge budget. I don't want this wide, expansive experience. Let Avowed be that. Let Avowed be the big open world game. I genuinely hope that the Outer Worlds 2 is a much more expanded hub-based RPG, much like its first entry. Just, more voice work, more quests, better combat for sure. But we're coming off of Murder on Eridanos, which just released this year. It is a fantastic piece of DLC. So if you have yet to dive into any of the new Outer Worlds content, do give that a look, as there will be some time you'll be waiting. But just how long? That's the major question here. Well, like I said, I think it may be sooner than you may realize. And I saw this in my buddy Juicehead's video, so I want to go ahead and shout him out because he did some great work here. He dug up on a LinkedIn profile for a production director on The Outer Worlds 2, who now updated their profile, that they've been working on this game since September 2019. So almost 2 years now, it has been in development. And when you start to go back, as we're going to, and look at things Take-Two was saying, things that Xbox was saying, it seems very much likely that they finished The Outer Worlds 1, and then a lot of the team moved immediately on to The Outer Worlds 2. And if Xbox saw a future in this series, and Xbox is saying, hey, we will help you fund this sequel, then why wouldn't you leap directly into that, right? Hot off the tail of the first entry, start working on the sequel. Here are some of those quotes. First is from Take-Two. As recently as this week, Take-Two seemed to think they were with the company president Carl Sladoff, saying that they saw The Outer Worlds as a, quote, long-term franchise during their latest earnings call. Here's what they said. Obviously, we're incredibly pleased with Outer Worlds and everything that it's brought. It was, I can't say that it was a complete surprise out of the gate, but it was certainly something pleasant for us and a bit unexpected. We will be participating in the franchise and whatever the future holds for that franchise. So we feel really good about it, and we think it's still building audience. And this game itself has a lot of life in it. And the future, we'll see what the future holds for it, but we do think it's a long-term franchise, and it's something that we are pleased to see with the results. Then you carried into Xbox's Matt Booty, who said, when approaching the subject surrounding Xbox making a series a Xbox exclusive, Booty explained that it depends on if it suits the franchise and whether it would benefit from being open to all platforms, which clearly they don't think is the case, or be better supported by the resources Xbox can put into it. More to my point earlier about the game being exclusive and just saying, hey, we'll fund it. Continuing on, it says, after being asked if Xbox plans to make an Outer Worlds 2 and if it could be a big Microsoft exclusive, Booty said, I think that'd be the kind of game from what we've seen of the Outer Worlds, my hope is that this is something we can build and that it can really become an enduring franchise and it really starts to grow and we can help expand that, which clearly they're going to do. So when you look at that, the investment from Xbox, the desire to make it a series, saying, hey, if we got the resources, we will make this an exclusive. Clearly they are doing that now that it is confirmed an Xbox exclusive. We see based off a LinkedIn profile that they literally wrapped the Outer Worlds 1. This is before the Outer Worlds 1 even dropped, right? That was September. The game came out in October, so they started the Outer Worlds 2 before the first one even released, which, by the way, isn't a super uncommon thing, but they leapt right into the sequel, started work on that. So if they're 2 years deep, this very well could be 23, 24 even, and that's not too out of the realm of possibility. And what's interesting is now we leap into Avowed, where things also seem a lot closer than expected. Obsidian is just such a well-run studio. From what I've heard around the industry and what I've seen online, other people are saying this too, is that they handled the pandemic in stride and they did a phenomenal job and sort of, I don't want to say went on without a hitch. I think unless you're working there, you can't really say that. But they seem to have done a really good job where all of their projects maintain some sense of progression. And so Avowed, maybe getting a official reveal with either a narrative trailer or a gameplay trailer, who knows, pretty soon. It's not just me saying it, it's Obsidian themselves. There was also a Reddit post highlighting just how deep we are into development for Avowed, saying Obsidian is now driving the completion of various regional content on Avowed, suggests it is mid-far in development per developers LinkedIn, where it says that according to a LinkedIn of Constant Goff, senior area designer at Obsidian working on Avowed, claims during pre-production he led 2 separate teams. One team was focused on the development of dungeon spaces with a focus on vertical slice level design. Another team focused on the creation of settlement spaces and vertical slice critical path experience. During production, he designed and implemented vertical slice critical path quests. Currently, he is serving as one of the 2 project's region directors, each responsible for driving the completion of the game's various regional content. Duties include continual renewal of team-generated content and so on, which would seem like Avowed is in really good shape. Since then, the LinkedIn profile has been updated, but to me, this clearly suggests what people have been saying all along, which is, as I said, Obsidian is in a really good spot as a studio. They transitioned extremely well compared to others. Progress continued on. Also, much like the Outer Worlds 2, Avowed had been tinkered on for some time, where the balancing act of this studio, I think in a lot of ways, the way they're working, I'm not going to say quality-wise because Insomniac's like top dog right now, so don't get me wrong, but they remind me a lot of Insomniac. They're doing a lot of things, a lot of cool things, and they're doing them well. I thought Outer Worlds was great. I think the way Grounded is shaped up so far is pretty strong, especially when you compare it to other early access titles. I think it looks fantastic. I enjoyed what I played of it, just I want to wait for the full release at this point in time. Avowed is making great progress. We know now the Outer Worlds 2 is deeper than we thought. It's overall a pretty optimistic point of view for a company that's churning out some of the most anticipated games for Xbox. So just know, Avowed is also pretty deep in development. I know here in 2021, based off when it was revealed in 2020, some people may have thought, oh, it hasn't been in development for that long. But that's why you don't always take just the reveal trailer at face value. It's kind of the same thing with Starfield. People saw the in-game footage and went, oh, it can't be that far along, even if it's releasing next year. It's probably going to get delayed. But when Bethesda Game Studios goes, oh, we've been developing this since 2017. I mean, at what point, like, that's a lot of time to be spent on the game. By the time the game comes out, they've spent 5 full years developing it. I mean, that's awesome to see across the board. It's a very exciting RPG future for Xbox. So going back to this Xbox post about the Outer Worlds 2 with a new crew and everything, they continue on saying, for those who are wondering about Avowed, the team is working hard to make something fans of our games and the Pillars of Eternity universe are going to love. While we are not showing anything right now, we're looking forward to showing off what we have been working on soon. Soon, eh? Very interesting. Now, I don't want to treat his word as gospel. A lot of people just do this with any reporters who are accurate, but it's a good reference point to say that Jeff Grubb had said that Avowed falls into the group of many other Xbox first-party games that aim to release in 2023. And I do think that's a safe area to place this game. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that Obsidian says, let's drop both the Outer Worlds and Avowed within the same year. I mean, we just saw Ratchet and Clank and Miles Morales dropped within the last half year, okay? So let's not pretend it's impossible for big banging first-party studios to just go crazy with it. And I'm sure Xbox will be more than happy to get something like that going. I do think there will be a gap there because you're going to have Starfield in there, you're going to have Fable in there, and then you're going to throw 2 more Obsidian RPGs in there. It's a lot. You probably want to space that out a little bit. RPGs are designed to be replayable, obviously long-term content, so plus DLC, right? Don't forget that. And all the Game Pass deals on Ultimate that typically come with the DLC. So there is stuff there that they have to consider, but I would not be shocked at all if they doubled up. But they're saying the reveal is soon. I mean, that is clear as day. PR people revise these statements and go, well, hold on, what do you mean soon? And it's like, well, soon. There's a couple of events that it could fall into. We have not seen the EXO event because of the pandemic and everything since 2019. But it's possible this year it makes a return. It's already been confirmed that the Game Awards this year will be an in-person event in December. So it's always possible that Xbox does their EXO event where they get fans around. This is where they actually announce the acquisition of Obsidian alongside inXile in 2019. Maybe they go ahead and announce something there if they bring this event back. My money, however, like many I would imagine, is on the Game Awards. Back in the Game Awards 2018, The Outer Worlds 1 did have its reveal placed there. And so when you look at that, you talk about a reveal soon, it seems likely that Avowed may find its place there. And then I think Xbox will likely have a heavy presence at that. When you look at the timing of a lot of their stuff and how much they're confident in using, of course, the Game Awards stage to reveal stuff. I mean, they revealed their own console on that stage. Xbox is big enough to go do their own thing and say, hey, we're doing a console reveal event, but they don't mind being a part of these bigger events. And not only that, they went first in that instance, right? They went first ahead of everyone alongside Hellblade 2's announcement and said, yep, here we go. Here it is. So I feel like you could see Avowed there, just like we saw The Outer Worlds there. The difference is, of course, that the wording is soon. To me, half a year from now isn't soon. But perhaps if your game's coming out in 2023 and you have a reveal set for December, you could consider that soon in contrast with your release window. But still, there's a lot churning underneath the hood at Obsidian. They've been pumping out a lot of stuff, and what's really cool is you look at their studio, and these 2 projects that they're working on right now aren't even all they're doing. Of course, we have Grounded, but there are projects from Josh Sawyer, Carrie Patel. There's another project going on there. I mean, there's so much happening underneath that studio, and it's tremendously exciting because a lot of it's role-playing games. Hello, let's go. So for me, these are the 2 big dogs that I'm looking forward to, but I want to pay attention to everything Obsidian's doing. But as it stands now, I do think The Outer Worlds 2, based off, of course, LinkedIn and the timing of when they started working on things, is closer than people may expect. Because when I saw it, I don't know if I speak for everyone, I said it jokingly, but I genuinely did put it in the Elder Scrolls 6 category of, all right, glad to know you exist. We'll see you in when I'm 30, right? You know, so I mean, I'm 25 now, by the way. I talk about my age a lot on the channel. I realize now I got to stop that. But more to my point is I expected this game to be a while off, but I actually don't think it is. It's been in development for some time now. So expect that maybe a little bit sooner. I think they're going to focus on Avowed and marketing that first and then move into the Outer Worlds 2. But man, if they double up, like, let's go. We're going to be eating good. So I just wanted to give everyone the update on this. I thought it was worth talking about, and I know a lot of people wanted to hear some of my thoughts on the Outer Worlds 2, where of course I'm super excited about that. It's one of my favorite RPGs of the last gen, and I love the characters from it. But I'm excited for them to take a deeper dive on everything with that game. It felt like, you know, they did a good job with it, but of course there was always room to do more in a lot of areas, but it didn't leave me underwhelmed. I understood the nature of the budget for the game. So now with Microsoft at your back, very excited to see what they do with it. And when it comes to Avowed, give me my Obsidian Skyrim now. But with that, I leave it in your hands. What do you think of some of the information presented today? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Appreciate all of you. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all.